Welcome to the series of Fundamentals of Programming Languages. To explore this series we have Mrs. Supriya Sarkar, ex-assistant professor at Singad Engineering College, senior software developer at Wipro, and application developer at Fujitsu.
Let's start with Chapter 9.
Now we will start the ninth chapter, Fundamental of C Programming. In previous chapter, we already seen what is C, the basic concept of C, features of C, and what are the translators we used for C, how to compile C, and also we have seen some example on the editor, how to run the programming language, any programming language. If you are using C, then you have to use .c extension file. If you want use CPP or Java or Python, so there may be the different extensions. So now we will move further for the different parameters, what or we can say what are the fundamental concepts are used in a C, so that after we will use this keywords, identifier, and data types, how we will create our beautiful programs. So this is what all the content which is required while we will start our any programming language, or while we want to start any program. So we must need to know that what are the keywords, how to write the data types, what are the data types, what are the operators, then what are the input output operators, then inbuilt functions which we are used, right? So this all are we are using in the fundamental of C programming language. So now first we will see the keywords in a C. So like keywords means it is a reserve word, and reserve word means it is reserved in your whole program, so you can't change it. It is a standard keyword which we are using while it's required in our program. So in C there are 32 keywords, and different programming language having different keywords, but in C there are 32 keywords as a reserve keywords. Now we will see what are the 32 keywords in C. So like break, case, character, constant, then continue, then float, or go to, for, if, int, means what are the conditional statement, like if, else, for, loop, jump, then means jump statement like switch, then def, union, unsigned, void, while. So this all are the keywords which are never changed, like double, else, or int, we can say. This keyword we are, while we are using this keyword, we this is what as it is you need to mention. You can't change the name like break, or break one, or breaks, or case, cases, or if it is mentioned char in a keyword, reserve keyword, then you have to mention char only. You can't define as char as, or const is for constant purpose, so you can't change its name. So the keyword, this 32 keyword which is a constant, so you are not change, you are not able to change, like any kind of the formula in a math, you can't change it, right? So the same way in a C language there are 32 keywords, and these keywords while we are used in our program, we never change their name, like int, it should be int, register, it should be register. You can change its name, or you can add any alphabets with it. So there are 32 keywords, like whatever data types you are using, the data types name comes under keywords. Then whatever conditional statement you are using, that conditional statement like if, else, then go to, continue, break, switch, for loop, do while loop, this all comes under 32 keywords. Now, the next is C identifiers. Identifiers means what? How you are able to define your variables for like if I want to define my user variable int a or int abc, or I want to define the variable for calculations the number, so int number. So that kind of identifier means there should be a particular rules you need to be mentioned, so that don't start your late means like what kind of alphabet you are using. You can also use num, for example, num, right? If you are using the data type num, so wait, we will see. For example, I want to use the variable like int a, right? So this is what the variable. If I This is what the variable which is integer type. If I want to use here the variable name like a underscore, so whether it is valid or not. So this is what the identifier, what kind of variable you used with a data type, so that variable should be in a proper manner. So like uppercase letter, lowercase letter, which kind of alphabets you are using, then how you are defining your variables, like I'm defining like yeah, this. Then but if you are defined to and then underscore a, this is what my variable name, so this is not the valid, because your variable name always start by alphabet. So it must be A, T, H, or underscore num, or means you can use the uppercase letter also, lowercase letter, uppercase, lowercase. In this way, you are defining your identifier. But remember, you can't start your identifier with digits. But yeah, if you want to apply digit, then means you can, but in between your alphabets, but not the starting of your variable name. So this is what the valid, that is a if I want to use the alphabet number inside the variable name, so I can, but I can't start the, like this is what the variable, but I can't start the variable name like st. So in this way, I'm not starting my variable name with a digit, but yeah, I can use the digit, but with alphabets. So identify, basically that is what is used, means what kind of you are using your alphabets, or you are using your variables with the data type, and whether it is a internal kinds or the external kinds of identifier. So this is what some of the example which I already told you, that like total, sum, average, underscore m. So underscore, but see here there is no digit comes first. Always the alphabet should become first. So you can use your like underscore, or any kind of alphabets you can use starting from alphabets. But yeah, this is what the valid identifier, and this comes under the invalid identifier. Why it is called invalid identifier? Because see, like the two sum start with a numerical digit, so we can start our alphabets a numeric digit, that is it considered as an invalid identifier. So like you are using and also one thing, like if you want to use uh, for example int. So this int is a data type, okay, and int is a keyword also, as we already seen in a keyword, 32 keywords are there. You can't use that keywords as a your variable name. You can't use like int, your keyword is like auto, or your keyword is like go, or your keyword is like case. So this keyword you can't use as a variable name. This keyword is always used for a specific purpose. That's why it's showing you like color is different. If you are using the valid variable name, it's showing you the different color, like it's showing you a different color like black. And if you are using any keyword as a variable, for example I'm taking f, so that consider as a this is a keyword. So keyword always showing in a different color. If it is not, you are not able to use any keyword as a variable name. That is what one of the rule in a identifier. Then the next is a constant. So what is a constant in C? So constant in C is a value. Name indicate constant means that does not change as a program, means when the program runs. So if you are using any constant value in a program, so in the whole program the meaning of that value never change. So you can't change the constant value if once you are using in a program. So the constant, it may be integer, it may be float, that any kind of it is. So this all are the data type. Integer is one of the data type. Integer means if you are using the integer type of the data type, then you are defining like numbers a, b, 2, 3, 4 in this way. If you are using the floating point number, then your number should be 2.0, 2.5. If this is a character, then you must be use a single quote in a form, a character form, and the string are just a few of several type of a constant. So we will see that what the constant example. So const is a one of the keyword which is already used in a keyword in a C. So you can't use the const as a variable name. So while used the const, so this is what the example. For example, in the mathematics, if you want to find the area of circle means where I required the pi value. So that time the pi value, which is a constant, that is 3.14 is given. So this 3.14 pi value, if you want to use some mathematical calculations and if you want to use some constant value in your program, so that constant value need to mention like this: const, float, or because constant means what, this is 3.14, right? So this 3.14 14 point is indicate it's a floating type. If it is an integer type, then it showing you only 3. If you are mentioning float, then it's showing you as a floating value, that is 3.14, and the pi equal to 3.14. If you are declare this statement in your program, then this statement you can't change in your whole program while executing your programs, because the pi value is a constant 3.4 and you must use the data type for the pi. It's a float because it's a 3.14. If you are using int, then it's showing only 3, not 3.14. So this is what the constant which we also used in our program. While we required any constant value, you just mention in this format const, float, and then whatever the variable name you want to decide, like pi equal to 3.14, then this variable only you have to use in your program. If you are using pi, then this variable only you can use in your program. Then the next topic is variable. This is very important topic. So here the variable, why variable is used? Variable is used because we are use the memory locations. How we are identify while we are writing anything in a program. For example, this is what the int, right? This is int or to num or int a comma b. This is what the variable which I declared, right? So while starting my program, if I am declare a variable, so my program which is hash include then stdio h, and then I'm starting from int and main. Okay, and this is what is starting and closing. So if I want to declare any variable, so this is what my statement, variable statements. Okay, so see the why we are using the variable, because if we want some parameter in our program, if we want to calculate anything, so without the parameter we can't, without the variable we can't calculate it, right? So for that purpose, we are using the variable. So once we are defining the variable, like it may be int type of variable, or it may be a float type of variable, or it may be a char type of mm, variable, right? So the okay, so this is what the variable, how we can define. Now, see what is the meaning of int a comma b. Int a comma b means this is the variable name a comma a and b, right? So there are the two variable a b and not two underscore num, then a, then s. This all are the variable name. So this means what means while you are starting your program, this means this variable allocate the memory, right? This variable means this a, b, a, s or two underscore num. While I am writing this variable in a program, so in a memory for this variable allocate some space. So here two variable a and b. So in a memory for a allocate, for example, 2 memory location for A, and for example for B allocate 2001. So in my memory, so for A allocate 2000 is a memory location for A, and 2001 for B. So while you are performing or assign any value, if I am assigning any value like A equal to 3 or B equal to 4, means why we are using variable, because of performing any operation. So before that we need allocate some memory, that where I need to store that value. So the value of 3 means the value of A and value of 4, that is uh, 2000. This is what my A. So for A, 2000 is a memory location, and inside the 2000 what data will be stored? 3. And inside memory location of 2001 what will be stored? 4. So this is what my A variable, and this is my B variable. So in the memory location, in a memory, what happened while we will declare, or while we are declaring any variable with values or without values, but while we are defining any kind of the variable, it may be float, any char or int, that will be allocate a memory for that particular variable. So for a variable, allocate memory 2000. It's a for example, the memory location may be, or memory, the value, location value may be anything. So B will be 2001. So 2000 is for A and 2001 for B. And now if you want to assign the value for A and B, then that value will be stored into this memory location 2000 and 2001. What is the use of this variable? Because if you are using the variable, then automatically for that variable memory is allocated, and in that memory you are defining the value of that particular variables. So another important thing is here for int, how many bytes is allocated. So we can use, means memory is allocated, fine, but how much memory is allocated for particular values? That is also one of the questions, right? So how much size allocate for A, how much size allocate for B? So as the data type is integer, so integer define how much byte, integer define 2 byte per variable. So this is what the 2 bytes. So 2 bytes for B and 2 bytes for 2 bytes for B and 2 bytes for A. So this is what how the memory allocate. Okay. So how memory is allocated? So memory is allocated what kind of data type you are defined and what variables you are used. So based on that, it defined that that much byte for that particular variables. So 2 byte for variable A, 2 bytes for variable B. And here the 3 is the value. So 3 is stored into the 2 bytes and 4 is stored into 2 bytes of the B location. In a float, it's a 4 bytes. So if 4 float, it's a 4 bytes. So the value of A means whatever the value for A, it may be 20, 10 or anything like 3 you are defining. So the value in a float must be like this. So this value is stored some memory locations. It may be for 4000, right? So here in 4000, it is stored your value. The value of A is going to be stored. So so the size for the float is 4 bytes. And a character, it's one byte, means this is what the you can say single alphabets you are storing in a character. If you are using the string, then the name like include or Rahul. So this is what the name which is included inside the string. But if you are using character char as a data type, then you can consider only the single characters. Name indicate char means what? The single character. So you are using as a variable as a single character. So this is what how the variable is defined in a C. So while we are using any variable, so it may be int, it may be float, it may be char, right? So this is the variable is the name that memory allocated for that variable, right? So if you are using a variable, that name is you means you are allocating that variable but the values means memory location is allocated for that particular variable. So here for the character s variable, suppose I am using for character s equal to what value for s? A. But you have to define the value for the character in a single inverted comma. Now we will see rules for defining variable. That what are the rules for defining variable. So you the variable means it can have alphabet, then it is a digit, underscore, as we already said in the example that you are defining alphabet, digit, underscore, anything you can. But remember one thing, the variable name can start with alphabet only. You can't start your variable name with digits. But yeah, if you want, you can use the digit but with alphabets. So no white space is used. White space means what? I want to use like int auth to underscore and then white space. So single space is not specified or not considered in a variable name. So if you are declare space and then again num, then this is an invalid variable name. So you always used variable name without white space. Now, the variable name also, there is no keyword you are used as a variable name. So that must be a name which is not related any keyword. So valid variable name. So see here int a, int underscore ab, int a30. So these all are the valid. And what about invalid variable name? Int 2, then a space b, white space is there, right? then int long is a keyword, and int two is a digit. So this kind of variable name is not defined. So it is not accessible. Actually, this is not comes under the rule while defining any variable. Now we will see what are the types of a variable in C. Okay, so there are the many types of a variable in C. One is local, global, static, automatic, the automatic, then external. So what is the use of the types of the variable? We will see now. So the variable that is declared inside a function which is called local. So we will see local variable means what? See, this is the function called int main. So this is one of the function, main function, and inside that I am declaring the number of variables here, right? So this is what all the variables I am declaring. Okay, now inside this function, inside this opening and closing bracket, after the function opening and closing bracket, whatever the variable I passed, that variable is called my what is a local variable. This variable is called local variable. So if I am using this variable inside the functions, whatever the variable it may be, it is any kind of variable it is. It may be character, it may be float, it may be integer. So all the variables which are used inside your function, that variable is called your local variable. So this is all the local variable. So the first variable is called as a local. A variable that is declared inside the function or the block is called a local variable. So this is what one of the functions is defined. So instead of void function, you can consider int main, and inside that, if I am declaring a variable int x equal to 10 inside the opening and closing bracket. So this variable is called local variable. Then the global variable. So what is the global variable? If I want to define a variable, right? So if I am defining a variable inside a function, and that is called local. But if I want to define that variable outside the function, here this is what my int main, this is one of the function, main function, and inside that I am defining number of variables what I required for my programming, right? So if I want to use the variable, okay, what variable I want to use? Suppose I am using sum as a variable, okay, so the outside of the main, so this variable name we can say is called global variable. Now, what is the scope of local and the global variable? Means where we are used this local as well as the global variable. So local variable we are used inside the function only, and if you are using outside the functions, if you are define suppose the another functions, for example int, and you are using the another function, and if you want to use the same this variable, for example a, b or a here, right? But this variable is called as a local variable, right? Name indicates local means it is used inside this. Suppose where we are from means our native place is considered as our local, right? And while we move into another city while for the further study or the for job purpose, so that is not our local, right? So local means where we are born and brought up. So it's the same thing here. The inside the function, this local variable having the name that is local, and you can't use this variable outside. Okay, but yeah, if you want to use the variable outside, then its name is different. That name is global variable. So here, suppose I want to declare int sum semicolon. Right, so this variable is called as a global because why? Because it is not mentioning inside any function, right? So this is what my one function and this is my another function. This is my first function and this is my second function. And now what happened? So see here, if my local variable, if I want to use this local variable inside my second function, so that is not accessible. That is not use, that not use of that variable, even though that variable is considered it's not accessible. But yes, if I am this int sum, so this is because of global. Name indicates you can use globally anywhere. So this variable you can use inside the main. Yes, you can use. You can use this variable name inside the main as well as inside the function, because this int sum indicate as a global variable. So if I required any variable as a global, then I need to define outside my function. If I require the variable which is only the local, it works only inside the function. I don't want required outside the function. So that time this variable comes under local variable. So this is what the main differentiate between the global and the local variable. So here you can define any function that will be used as outside, means any function that will be used the variable which is called local variable, and those variable which is used outside the function, this variable is called as a global variable. Now, the another term is a static variable. This is also one of the interesting variable name. So why we are called it's a static? Why we called it's a static? Because the static means what it is. We can say it's a constant, means the variable values which is a static for the whole program. We can't change it. So here is a function, for example, void function 1, and inside that I'm using a variable that is int x equal to 10. So this is what my local variable, right? And if I want a variable which is a static, means the value which never get changed in the whole program also, this value should be y equal to 10 only. So what I will do, I will mention here the keyword that is a static, then data type int, and then variable name y equal to value. So this variable is my static variable, and this is also used inside the function. Okay, so this static variable, if you want to declare any static variable, then you need to define the static as a keyword, and then with that keyword you are defining the data type, variable name, and the values. So this is what about your static, means this value is a static. You can't change this value. If you want to change here y equal to 20, so you can't change. So this value is a same in a whole function. Now the next is the automatic variables. So like this, as all the variable in C which is declared inside the block, or means generally we are while we are performing any operation, so we are using this variable name inside the functions. Okay, so what are the use of automatic variable then? So the automatic variable which is by default, means those are variables which are used inside the variable. We can say it's a local variable, so that called as a automatic. But yes, if you want to use that automatic, auto is one of the keyword in our reserve word. Out of 32 word, one keyword is a auto keyword. So if you want to use that auto keyword, so you can, but that should be inside your function, not outside the function. Outside function means the only the global variable. So if you are using outside function, then that variable name is called global. If you want to use that variable number of functions and the number of functions, if you want to access that variable values outside the function also, so that time you are using the global variable. And auto by default, it's a local variable. So if you want to define that variable as a auto, then you can use the keyword name that is auto. Auto is a keyword, and then with auto you can define the data type. Data type is necessary because what kind of variable it is, how you can identify. So for that you can use any kind of data type, whether it may be int or float or character, any kind of data type you can use with a keyword. Then the last keyword is last variable name is a external variable. So this is also one of the important variables. If you want to use the extern as a keyword, then this keyword is called as your extern keyword. So this is what the external keyword is also called your global keyword. So these keywords consider as your global. Like in global keyword, there is no keyword such kind that you have to define the global and then data type. In C, there is no keyword for global. But yeah, if you want to use the external as a keyword, external as a keyword with a data type for the variable, then that keyword is also considered as your global keyword. Now come to the main point, that is data types. Now so many times from the starting of this chapter we discussed about data type, data type. Now what is mean by data type? The variable we are defining, what type of that variable, whether that variable is related numeric, whether that variable is related to character, whether that variable is related to point decimal number, what kind of type of variable it will be. So if you need to mention any variable, it is mandatory, compulsory, or we can say it is standard to must be define the data type. So first you need to define any data type like int or anything. So always it's a best practice to always define the data type, any kind of data type. If I want to perform the addition of two numbers, then what kind of data type I require? Right. So int means what? It's an integer. So if I want to add the two numbers, so number 1 comma number 2. So first of all, I want to define the data type. Data type means what? What kind of data yours? Means if you are using the variable number 1 and number 2, so it show that what kind of data it is based on the data type. It's an integer type. If you are using the number as a float, right? If your calculations will be the float point related, so instead of number, instead of int, you are defining your data type will be float. So this is what the you must be define always. This is the statement you have to define, that is your data type, then your variable name, and then equal to your value of the variable. So the value of the variable is not compulsory, but the variable name should be. So that's why with the data type we are defining the variable name. So here the data type which is specify what kind of data types are integer, floating, character, etc. So there are the following data types we will see. So this is what the types. Basic data type is are int. Int is an integer type. Then char is a character type if you want the single character as a value. Then float, then double. Float, it's a 6 character, 6 number, means 3 point up to 6 digit, 0000 up to 6, and double, which is more than 6 values you want to define. Then derived data type is our array, means if you want to define the same, means in a class there is a 60 student. So if you are you want to define that 60 student in a single variable, then using array. Then pointer is also one of the variable. The structure, union. So this is also structure and union also comes under the derived data type. And this enumeration data type is our enum. Enumeration, enum. And then void data type is a void. Void means nothing. There is no return type for that. Then the basically the data type, whatever the data type we are using, it may be int or it may be float or double character. So that data type having some memory size, means size of that particular data type. If you are using any variable, so that variable is stored somewhere else in a memory locations. So in that memory location, how much memory allocate for that particular variable. For example, int a. So how much memory is allocated for A? How much memory is allocated for int B? So memory size for the basic data type, which may be changed according to your 32 or the 64 bits operating system. If you are using 32-bit operating system or you are using the 64-bit operating system, the memory size will be changed. So here the data type character for char 1 byte is used, because for example, like you are check here, for char you are using the single character. So for that, this is only allocate how much byte? 1 byte. So here 1 byte is allocated for the character. So for else, only the 1 byte space memory size is allocations for values of S. Means what is the value for S? A. So for single character, how much memory is allocated? 1 byte for character. If you are using the int, then this is allocated the 2 byte. So 1 byte means what? 1 byte means your 8 bit. If your 1 byte is 8 bit, then your 2 byte is a 16 bit. So 2 byte for A, 2 byte for B. So the value 3 and the value 4, which is stored into the memory size, which is how much? 2 bytes. So the character which is range starting from minus 128 to 127 and integer values. So like the integer 2 byte, which is the memory is allocated. So I said like for integer I allocated memory. This is 32768. So here like I said, here the memory allocations, like for the character S, the memory allocations I said like 2000. So here from 128 to 127. So memory is allocated minus 128 to plus 127, and for integer it's 32,000 something 678. So here the memory is allocated starting from this. So this is what the memory size which is allocated for integer and float. It's a two range, so I'm not mentioning here. So this is what the memory size: 1 byte for char, 2 byte for integer, 4 byte for float, and double, which is 8 byte, because float 3 point after 6 digit and double 3 point after number of digit. So if you want to define the floating point, for example, see here the age, int age, if it is an integer type, then you must be define the value will be integer only. You can define here a, because the data type is int. If you are define the data type here, then you can define the values as a character. If you are define the float, then the values will be 98.6 or up to 6 digit. But if you are define the double data type, then the value will be more than 6 here. This is more than 6 digit after the point, decimal point. Okay. So this is what the example of the data type and how the data type will means assign, means define with the variables, and what kind of values we are assigned to that particular data type. What are the symbols we are use? Operators like plus, minus, multiplication, division, greater than, less than, relational operator, and, or, this all comes under operators. So for example, int my num equal to hundreds plus 50. So plus is what? The operator, which is operators means it's a symbol, and through this symbol you are performing your operations, whether it is related arithmetic, whether it is related logical, bitwise, or means relational operators. So there are the number of types of the operators we have in a C language. So first is arithmetic operators, then relational operators, shift, logical, bitwise, ternary, assignments operator. So from that we are go through some of the operators which is generally used in our programming concept. First is the arithmetic operators. So arithmetic operators, everyone knows that why it is used for mathematical operations, plus, minus, multiplication, division. So this all are the operators name. Plus, minus, for multiplication you are using star, for division you are using slash, for modules we are using this plus, increment and decrement. So this is a plus means increment by 1, minus means increment by minus 1. So here the example how our variable will declare when we will add any uh, variable or values like x equal to 10 and y equal to 20. So in this way we have to perform addition. In this way we have to perform subtraction, then multiplications. Then what is the difference between this x slash y, x division y, and x module y? So the difference is in that is here int x comma y. So I am defining the two variable x and y. So if I want to divide, for example, we are performing the whole program, hash include stdio dot h, then int main. Then I'm defining x equal to 20 and y equal to 10. Okay, so this is what my variable which I am defining here. The data type is what? Int. Variable name is x, y, and the value is 20 and 10. Now I want to define this x divided by y and x module y. We will see the difference between this division and the module. So here is suppose z equal to, because I want to store the value also, so that's why we used a variable name, that is z. Now x divide y, what will be the answer for this? We will check. So for that, if I want to check the output for that, so I need one printf statement to see the output. So printf the value of z. So I need to define that comes into double inverted comma. Whatever the statement you want to visualize or display on your screen, that statement should be in double inverted comma. And then comma z. Why this z? Because this z indicates the value of x divided by y. For that we are defining z, and then we are defining return 0. So let's see what will be the output for that. What is the output for that? The value of z. Okay, so z equal to this. Now the value should be, what is the value of z divided by 10? Okay, and if I am define x module y, then the output is not showing. The value of z should be showing the output, right? X module y and the z is there, and if I am declaring and z, x is module y, or if I'm declaring x module y, whether it is printable or not. Let's see. The value is this, and just check once, because here this is the online compiler which is I'm using. So maybe, so I need to define here %d, then only my value is showing like this. So here the another term, if you want to define any of the output, so you must need the %d. %d is used for digit, then %s is used for string character. If you want to print any output in the format of S, then you will get the output as a string. And if you want to print any float, then %f you have to define. And D is a digit. If you want to print any digit, then it will be print. So if I am using here x/y, then the answer will be 2. So 10, so here also you can directly, either you can directly define here, or you directly mention here, that is x divide y, and here z, okay, and here mention z. So here, sorry, semicolon must be there, each and every line must be there. So value of z is 2. And so what is the difference between, so this is what my 1z, and if I am defining z1 equal to x module y, so the output will be printf. So I am printing the different output for x module D, and the variable should be different. Z is for divide, and Z1 is for module. Okay. So this is what my online compiler. There are so many online compilers are available in a market. You just put if you want, you just assign the name, that is I want on online compiler print online compiler for C. If you want to perform any program in C, if C++, Java, any kind of, there are number of online compilers are available. You can directly use your program here and then check the output this side. So here the run and the save, these two options are there, and here the automatically it saved as a main.c. So if you are writing a small program over here, and you can check the output whether whatever the concept you are applying, and how to write the program, which statement you need to write for what. So suppose this is what a program int main, and I'm defining an x, y, z, z1, z equal to x divided by y. So the value of print z and print z1 will be, okay, so we will run the program and then check what will be our answer. See, the value of z, first value of z is 2, and second value of z1 is 0, right? So for displaying it in the next line, you have to use /n. /n is for new line. If I am defining the /n inside the double inverted commas, then it will show you the value of z is your 2, y2 x divided by y. So it's showing you the quotient, means the values which you are dividing, and this module is showing you the reminder, that is what is a reminder for that? 0. While I divide 20, with 10, so 10, then x divided by y, and x module y. So x divide means what? The quotient value. So quotient value is 2, right? And the remainder is 0. So the module means what? Remainder value. And quotient means what? Your division value. So x/y, x module y or division y is showing you the output of quotient, and x module y is showing you the output of remainder. This is what the difference between /y and module y. This is module and slash, and here the increment and decrement, plus x and minus y is there. So here, if I want to print any statement, if I want to increment my x value or y value, suppose x equal to x plus 1, it means x plus plus, and then I want to printf. If I want to check whether what is the value of my x, the value of x, okay, and then define the %d because I want the value in the format of digit, so that's why, and the x. So see the result, and remember should be semicolon, and for the next line define the /n. Now check the value. This is what 20, and the value of x will be 21. What will be the what is our value? X equal to 20, and after increment by 1, it will be uh, 21. So here I can define x plus plus, or if you want to define the x plus plus, then see what will be the output for that. Same 21. So x plus plus means x plus 1, increment by 1. And if you want to decrement, so x minus minus, whether it is executed, yes, minus minus, it's a 19. So minus 1 means 20, x is minus 1, that is either you can define this way, or you can define x equal to x minus 1 or x equal to x plus 1. Both are same. So this is what about the arithmetic. So logical, why we are using the logical operator? Because of checking whether our statement is true or false, right? To determine whether the value is true or false. So that's why we are used, for example, and then or not. These three statement operators are comes under the logical operator. So the name is logical and, logical or, logical not. So while we are using it in our program, so and means what? If I want a equal to b, and I want a equal to a equal to 10, and I want b equal to 20, both I want, right? So at that time the description is written 1 if both statements are true. So the output of the logical operator is either 1 or 0 or true or false. So how we will get? So when we will get 1, when these both statement, if some of the condition where I want to execute both the statements, so that time I use the logical and operator. And some of the operation or some of the source code where expected only the single one is executed, either this one or this one. So that place we are using the or operator, right? And then logical not, if I am not able to execute till that value. So it means we are using exclamatory sign as a logical not. So there are three operator, and, or, not. Then the assignments operator. So we everyone know about the assignment operator because we are using it in our mathematical expressions like a equal to b, or b equal to x plus y. So equal to is called as the assignment operator. It assigns something, so that's why it's named assignment operators. So here, like for example, int x equal to 10. So this is what the assignment operator. So here is assignment operator always come with a equal to sign. So if I am using x equal to 5 or x plus equal to 3 means it is same as like I already said in a previous operator, that is x plus plus means x equal to x plus 1. The same thing, x plus equal to 3, it means x equal to x plus 3. Then x minus equal to 3 means x equal to x minus 3. So you can use this all the operators and perform a simple programs like the same. This way you are creating one program, and inside that program you are performing each and every operations. So what will be the output for like x plus 3 is showing, right? So x plus 3 is means what? X plus 3 means, see here, x plus equal to 3. because it's an assignment operator, so equal to must be there, x plus equal to 3. Then check what will be the output for that. So this is what 22, 20, 21, 22, because here minus is there. Now see, it's a 23, right? So 3 will be increment by x plus equal to 3. So this is what this kind of things means. You have to create a sample program, and inside that you can use each and every operator and check what will be the answer for that assignment operator. You can do by your own also. So this is what the format. You can use either this type of format or this, both are the same. So here the operator like plus equal to, minus equal to, multiplication equal to, division equal to, whatever the arithmetic operator we have, with that we use the equal to, and that comes in a assignment operator. Then the relational operator. Relational operator is also used a very important purpose while we have some comparison. Means if we want to find out whether A is greater than B, or B is less than C, or B is less than A. So while it comes under a like comparison relationship between the two variables, at that time we are use the relational operators. So here basically yes, no, Boolean values are there, right? So in a relational operators, we will see one of the example. Here a simple program is there, like hash include std attach int main, then int a equal to 10, b equal to 4, greater, and now check the relational operator. So while we relational operator, if we want to check any relational operator, we must need the condition. Because yeah, like I want to check whether A is greater than B or B is greater than C. So I need some condition. So what is that condition? I check whether if A is greater than B or A is less than B, right? So here also you can use the your logical operator and or A. If A is greater than B and B is also greater than C, right? Or we can use A is greater than B, or B is less than C. So there are the number of conditions are there. So we use that this relation operator with the condition. So if is a condition, comes under the condition. So here we are using to check whether the A is greater than B or not. So if I want to check whether A is greater than, because the value of A is 10 and value of B is 4. So whether A is greater than B, yes or no. So print A is greater. If yes, then it greater, print A is greater. Else A is less than, right? So there are the number of conditions are given. So if we want, so we can do also here. For example, we have x equal to 20 and y equal to 10. So if I want to check the condition, okay, so here I put here if x is greater than y. Okay, so we will check this whether x is greater than y. If yes, you need to use the curly bracket. If yes, the here you can write x is greater than what, y. Okay, no need to define here any values, no need to print any values. Either it's showing if it is x is greater than y, then it's showing this statement x is greater than y. Then close this statement by curly bracket, opening curly bracket. You have to close this bracket. Okay, then else again we have to use the white showing blue color, because these all are the keywords, right? Then next statement we have to use now check x is greater than y. It may be, if condition always consider as a true, and else if x is not greater, then x is less than, right? So you can define here, either it will be print x is greater than y, or it will be print x is less than y. Okay, so I have two condition. then I need to close this statement. Okay, so need to check whether each and every curly bracket is if you opening any means this is what opening bracket. Okay, so if any bracket is open, then that must be closed somewhere. So this is what close for first one, this is for second and third. Okay, now we will check what will be our answer. Yes, x is greater than y, condition is true. If I am giving here only 2, x equal to 2 and y equal to 10, then what will be the answer? X is greater than or x is less than? X is less than, right? So check, x is less than y. So in this way, you will write a small program and check all the operators, how it exactly works. So here I can define every statement like less than equal to, equal to. So here not equal to, this exclamatory indicate it's a not equal to B. Now the next point is a precedence of operator in C. Precedence of operator means what? Which operator will come first from left to right and from right to left. Suppose I want to use plus, multiplication, then subtractions in a single statement. So which operator preferred the first priority? Right, so that will be defined by the that concept is called precedence of the operator. So here multiplicative, additive, relative, bitwise, condition and postfix, whatever the operators we have, it may be addition, it may be relations, it may be bitwise. So all the operators having comes under the category and operators is mentioned, and then question mark, then plus, minus, multiplications for that, and postfix for this kind of operators we have. Now if in a single statement this kind of operators is there, then it will be start from left to right. Those operator come first, that will be starting first, or left to right, it will be execute from left to right. Then this is right to left. Right to left means if you have a question mark, then first it will execute the question mark, then colon. But here, left to right means what? Bitwise operator, you have to check and then move the different place. Then here also you have to check the equal to and then check. Here the minus, then plus, then module, then division, then multiplication. So in this way it will be executed. Now the next is inbuilt function. We already have seen the scanf and printf statement. So generally this scanf and printf statement is used for, we can say it's a inbuilt function. Why we can say it's an inbuilt? Because this is scanf and printf, you can't change this name print. Instead of printf, you can't use the print or p not. You can't. So for that you have, this is we can say this is called the inbuilt functions, means you can't change the name of this function name printf or scanf. Printf is used for displaying our result and scanf is used for read the data, read the values, right, from the memory, what variable we are using, and for that variable whatever the value we are stored into the memory, that from that memory your scanf is used to read that data, fetch from there and then print the data. The two statement we are using, the printf and scanf functions for input output. So that's why we are use header file hash include stdio.h, input output dot h, header file. So this both are comes under inbuilt library, that is stdio.h, printf functions and scanf functions. So printf basically used for output, showing the output on your screen, and your like this is what the printf, you have to perform a double inverted comma and then those variable you want to print the output for that particular values. Then %d, I said, like if you want to print integer type, then inside this format string you have to mention %d for integer, for digit. If you want to print character, then %c is here. If you want to print string, then %s. If you want to print, then print %f. So this statement is used to print what kind of values you want to display, whether you want to display integer type, whether you want to display floating point or character type. This is what the scanf. This scanf is also used for the input, and printf is used for output. So scanf is for input purpose, means it read the data, and then printf print that data. So it read the data from the console. So here how it will be read, just %d or %f, %s you have to mention. So this is what the simple example. A hash include stdio.h, then in main opening bracket int number. If I want to print a simple number, then printf enter a number, right? I want to print any number, and then scanf is read. So how it will scan? %d. Which types of number it will read? Integer type, float type, or character type. So you need to mention here %d or %c or %f. Here the format depends on your data type. If your data type is integer, here if your data type is integer, here it is integer, then you have to mention here %d. If your data type is float, then mention here %f. If your data type number, means your variable data type, this is what number, and you are reading the value of the number. So if the value of the number is a integer type, or means this is what int, so your variable type is int, so you must be define here inside the formatter is %d, or you can, if you are using here float, then define here %f. If you are define here string, then you are define here %s. If you are using c character, then you define here %c. So this is what the format, how the input and output you input output function call in a program. And then after in print q, the number is %d. This %d is used because of the print the values, and then return enter a number. Which number we have to enter? 5, and then cube of the number is 1 to 5. So here I am entering the number. So enter a number 5 and read that 5 here, and then here how much time the number is used? 3 times. 5 into 5 into. So here 5 at 25 cube, 5 raised to the power 3, because 3 times the number is used. So that's why the output will be 125. This is what the small input output program. If you are print the two numbers, sum of two numbers. So in one of the lecture, I already showed it that how to add two number. So I already defined the x and y, or a or b. I think I showed it by a and b variable, and c, I think the result, first result. And then enter the first number, then read, then after enter the second number, then again read, then store your x and y, means add your variable and store somewhere else. So I am storing into the value, this value addition into the result, and printf sum of two number. What kind of output it will be? Integer, float, or character? Integer, because our data type for x and y will be integer, and the result data type is also integer. So that's why here the %d, how I can identify whether it is %d or %c or %f. So it based on our variable, which variable you have to call here. So if you are call here x, then you have to pass %d. If your data type as a float, then you have to mention here %f, and then return 0 and close the program. So here enter first number, I am entering 9, and second number I am entering 9, and the sum of two number is 18. So this is what the sample program, or we can say it's a very simple program, and we already showed it in code block that how to add two number.